Hi, everybody. This is Tamara from Moogly, and we are live. It is May 28th, 2025, and I want to welcome you all so much to my basement this morning. It is chilly down here, still in the basement, even though it's almost June. But the upside is it's still sweater weather indoors, right? And if you work indoors, it's probably going to be sweater weather indoors all summer because the AC is getting cranked already in so many locations. So we are at the tail end of the month, which means we are at the tail end of the spring seller sweater crochet along. And I cannot believe how quickly this month has gone. We have worked through the pattern in 4 pieces, and the only things that's left is the part 4 video tutorials, and those will come out this Friday, barring technical difficulties, obviously. We've got it in the can. We've just got to finish up the editing and get it up on YouTube. So at the end of this month, it will all be finished. And I've had a lot of questions from people worried that it was all going to go away at the end of the month. Do not worry. The crochet along was just for fun, something like fun community event for us to do, but the pattern's not going away. It's not going under lock and key or anything like that. You can follow along and make this sweater pattern whenever it's convenient for you. Now, breaking it up into the crochet along, I do think gave it some nice bite-sized chunks, but if you want to get the PDF, that has the full pattern on it all in one place as well for your convenience. So, a couple different options there. Like I say, if you do have the PDF, it has all the links to the tutorials. That last one will go live on Friday. So, I am wearing it and I am quite proud of it and I am in love with it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well, and I hope you'll give it a chance in the future. So, let's see. We've got Julia and Maggie and Shannon and Adrian and everybody else who's tuned in. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go. We're going a little bit of order. I talked about their sweater. The links for that are all up today. So now I have to go back from where I usually start to where I usually start. Our crochet along square. This one, of course, has been a big hit. It is our annual square from Celtic Knot Crochet, and here it is for the year. Now, this one is called what did she call it? The Celtic Afghan square. And it was so funny when she sent me the pattern. I was like, okay, this must be a working title, right? There must be a different official name for this square. Surely, if anybody has used that name before, she has. Nope, she had never actually just used that very simple title before. So, the Celtic Afghan square. Isn't that funny? Like I say, I thought for sure she would have used that one by now, but here we are. And isn't it beautiful? I don't know if it's my experience making these over the past few years or just, the state of mind I'm in when I make them, but it does feel like this one was a little bit easier than some of the past ones, which I'm not complaining about at all. Like I say, maybe it's just the experience of having made them a couple times now. This is what the back looks like for this square. Little different. You definitely has a right side and a wrong side, but still very attractive from both sides. Now, one thing I've done in the past when I made these squares, the Celtic knot one specifically, when you start weaving these cords together, what I did in previous years is I found it helpful to sort of sew the squares together where I knew they crossed. This one, I didn't feel the need to do that. I don't know if it's just the slightly different design of the knot itself. Um, I don't know, but I do think that this one, for whatever reason, for me at least, worked up a little bit easier than past ones. So maybe that's why it got the simplest title, Celtic Afghan Square. But again, a really beautiful square. I love the way she mixed it up. So we started sort of, working in this orientation and then put it on the corners. It was a great chance to use all my colors and beautiful, beautiful squares already up in the group, the Facebook group. So definitely check that out. Yes, Becky and Cecilia, I agree. It is such a gorgeous square. And it was really fun to highlight the different colors that I used in this one as well. So many different ways you could make that. I think it's just so striking in so many different colorways, for sure. So thank you to Jennifer again for another beautiful square. Celtic Knot Design will have them every year as long as she'll keep making them for us because they really are striking, aren't they? So I'm using Red Heart with Love this year for my crochet along squares. You can use whatever you like, but with a worsted or Aran, you'll have a great blanket at the end. So if you haven't joined in the crochet along yet, and this square has you thinking about it, definitely it is the time to join in. Now, might seem a little late in the game to jump in, but this crochet along's been going since 2014, so it's never too late. You can always jump in anytime. Speaking of which, oh, we're what? What is this, number 10, 11, 10? Number 10. We're 10 squares into the crochet along. Seems like the perfect time to introduce something totally new that we've been meaning to do the whole time. No time like the present. So we have finally started a crochet along specific newsletter. So if you want to make sure that you get a newsletter in your email inbox from me every time a new crochet along square comes up, we have a new newsletter starting just for that. The sign up form for that newsletter is just on the Crochet Along Square posts, okay? Not the ones on other people's blogs, just the ones on Moogly. So if you go to our past one here for the Celtic Knot Square, or you go to the new square that's coming up tomorrow, scroll down just a little bit. You should see a form there where you can fill out and sign up for the Crochet Along specific newsletter. So for those who have been looking for that for a while, finally able to get that started. Took us a little while, again, it's pretty much just me and Jeff here doing all this. So sometimes it takes us a little while to make big changes and start new things like that. But very excited to say we are launching that specific newsletter, whole separate list just for the crochet along. Now, because I know there are lots of you who want to keep up with everything going on with Moogly, you don't have to choose. You can subscribe to both if you want to. And we're not going to take the crochet along information out of the main newsletter either. The weekly one will still have everything in it. This is going to be one just for the folks who want to make sure they get notified as soon as those crochet along squares come out. All right, so what else is going on? I need to catch my breath a little bit. I've talked about the spring seller sweater crochet along. We're finishing that up this week with our last video tutorial. Again, that would be up on Friday. Bernat Softy Cotton is the yarn I used for mine, but I'm seeing some beautiful ones in all sorts of yarns. And that is pretty much what took us through this month, right? That's what's been going on. We've been finishing all of that up. We've also had some fun other developments, though. We had a great big run on the Babé Crochet hat templates, so we had to order some more, and they are officially back in stock on the Etsy shop. So if we ran out and you were disappointed you couldn't get them, they are back in stock. We got our new shipment, and they are available again. So these are for crochet and I think also hat making. If you make hats from the top down and you want them to fit, these are the tools you want. Buy once, buy it for life. I know I keep saying that, but so many things, we're going to always have to buy more yarn. We're going to want to buy more yarn, try new hooks and things. But this is the kind of tool where really you just need the one, and you're going to be making hats for the rest of your crochet career and probably pass it down to your kids or grandkids if you're lucky enough to teach them to crochet as well. So now let's get to the giveaways. Always some fun giveaways going on Moogly. And I feel like, oh gosh, I just happened to glance down and our quality that we're streaming to Facebook looks no bueno. So sorry about that. If you're watching on Facebook right now, hop on over to YouTube. Does look a little bit better from here. So I don't know what's going on there. If our internet just isn't holding up to it today, if the whole neighborhood's online, who knows? Anyway, on to those giveaways. Our hook giveaway we've got going right now is a Furls Matte Onyx Streamlines crochet hook giveaway. Long name, gorgeous hook. I have my Furls collection here in front of me. Let me pull out one of the matte hooks, and here they are. This is a matte blue, actually. It's just dark enough over here that I don't have enough light. This is a black one. There we go. Let me try that again. There we have the matte black. Now, if you're not interested in the black, obviously it does come in other colors. Blue, pink, I want to say there's kind of a gold, lots of colors to choose from. But for this giveaway, we're doing 3 of the matte black hooks. Right here is one of the ones that I own. I'm not giving away this one. I'm keeping it. But you can see it's not shiny. It's got a really matte finish to it. It is onyx, black colored, and it is that streamline shape that so many, myself included, really do love to use. It's great for overhand crochet. It's great for pencil crochet. It's not great for those who prefer a thumb grip. If you are a thumb grip person, then you probably won't like these. But if you like a round handle, then you probably will. Now, these are made out of aluminum. If you can hear that, but they are made out of aluminum, so these are not going to break either. I know in the past, like resin hooks, some people complain about hooks that are made out of resin because they can fall on the floor and break. This is aluminum, so it should take quite a bit of effort to mess up one of these. This should stick with you, and it's a solid aluminum too. I looked into that because I was wondering if they were hollow or what, because they're not that heavy, but aluminum is very lightweight. But they are not hollow, so they won't crush or anything like that. It's anodized, which I understood while I read it, but I didn't memorize what it meant. I just know it was a good thing. So they're great hooks. I genuinely do enjoy using them quite a bit. Very happy to be able to start using them again. So I was excited to do that giveaway with them, and we've got 3 hooks giving away from them on Moogly. Words. All right, what else is going on? Got some other great giveaways, of course. The newest one is our Universal Yarn and Stitch Up giveaway. Let me find that bag here. So many things to show off. So I've talked a lot about Stitch Up Chicago. It's an event I try and do every year. And of course, I did it again this year, and it was so much fun. And there was, as always, some extra yarn and things, even though we gave so much away to the attendees. But there was some extra, so I brought it home to share with all of you. So I have another Stitch Up Chicago tote bag. Who doesn't love a great tote, right? And we have 4 skeins of Universal Yarns Major. And these are big skeins, as you can see right here. Let me hold that up, see if it'll focus. Isn't that pretty? Now, unfortunately, these are not the kind of skeins that love to stay wrapped up perfectly. So they're not exactly photogenic in their photos, but they are wrapped up new in package. You can see there's just one string that wants to come out on, I think, on each of them. But we've got 4 skeins total, 3 colors. There's 2 of that color, 1 of this color right here. There it goes. And then 1 of these as well. You can see there's always one string that wants to come out and not stay in the label. And here's that first color again as well. So I was able to put together 4 of these for one very lucky winner. The colors are beautiful, and you can see there's a really big skeins. They are, let's talk about it for a minute. Made in Turkey. This one is called Lagoon. Machine wash, cool, dry, low. Let's see, 100% acrylic. And this is a 200-gram ball, so that's twice the size of, your usual skein. Most are right around 100 grams. And that's 328 yards of bulky weight yarn. So that's a 5-weight yarn. Let me see if we can get that to focus. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Really lovely colors. It has a great feel. Kind of that twist look to it. The two-tone twist together there gives it sort of a woolly look to it. It's got a little bit of fuzz. It's very soft, though. Doesn't feel, plasticky or anything like that, but it doesn't feel like wool either. I think it's just a really lovely yarn. So we're giving away 4 big skeins, the ones you just saw, all in this tote right here. So to 1 lucky Moogly reader, I'll be shipping that out here in about a month or so. So good luck to everybody entering that one. Of course, we still have our Yarn Inspirations and Stitch Up giveaway as well. That one's already up on the blog, and I've talked about that one on another live. We've got another tote bag full of yarn going out to somebody. And those are our 3 giveaways going on Moogly right now. So now I get to give you a couple of updates about where I'm at on crochet alongs that I'm participating in besides my own, because I've been talking about this is the year of the crochet along. I've been going crochet along crazy, and knit along for that matter. First up, I've got my Jimmy Beans wool crochet kit that I've been working on, the Blanket Club. Let me get my hooks out of the way here. And in the latest kit, we added green. So I got these all blocked. Now, did I get the ends woven in? No, but I did get them blocked. So this stripe, we've added this green section and a little bit of blue. Green was the new color for this month, which was, for me, kit number 5, because I did start with January. And then on the second block, again, one of these days I'll get to the ends, we added this section here with the green and the blue and the yellow, sort of a block pattern, which is very cool. I just look at that variety of stitches we've done just in 5 months. And then we had a couple of blocks that we added to this month as well. We had just one more round of the green that we added to this block that I think we started last month. And then this block was all new. Isn't that pretty? It's got these really great little picot points to the flower there. Really pretty. Again, it's going to be so interesting to see how this all comes together. I'm so excited by it. I know I've talked about it a million times now, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the process. I'm loving the way Lena's mind works, as a designer. And I think as anybody who crochets, it's really fun to get a peek inside a designer's mind sometimes and see how they put things together differently than you would. I love it. It's very inspiring. The other one, let's see, that I've been participating in is the Knit Collage Spring, which is for me going to be probably all year, but the Knit Collage Spring Knit Along. I finally got my gauge swatch made. You guys have been on this journey with me. It is going slow, but I got my gauge swatch made, and I wanted to show it to you because look at that sparkle. Isn't that gorgeous? This yarn is going to be so much fun to wear. Beautiful. Cannot wait. So I finally got started on the actual sweater as well. I am a whopping, I believe, 7 rows in. So just goes to show, no matter how much of a professional you are, I have knit sweaters for other people. I have knit designs. Sometimes it's just slow going, and that's okay. It's okay to take a project and make it a long-term project. This is going to be a slow one for me, and I knew that when I took it on because it's knit, and I'm a slow knitter. It's one of the reasons I don't have very many knit designs. The ones I do have tend to be small. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the process. I'm learning myself. It's been a long time since I've tried to make one left and make one right. Not the easiest moves. So it's been a really good refresher, and I'm really enjoying the process of learning again and going through it and learning new stitches. And again, I think that's good for my brain, and I'm hoping it will help me as a designer as well. And hopefully I'm going to have a really pretty sparkly sweater at the end of it as well. So yes. Let's see. Thank you. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. And hi, Rosemary. Yes, those colors are beautiful, aren't they? Yes. So many beautiful yarns out there to work with. So many yarns I'm so excited to introduce you guys to this summer. Speaking of which, we've got some sneak peeks. And just peeks. So our sneak peek is the next pattern coming up on Moogly. Now, all month, for the month of May, we've been doing the Spring Seller Sweater Crochet Along. Big project. We broke it into 4 parts, and that was perfect. But now it's time for something small again. And one of the things I put out would have been last month was the knit version of the headband that I did for Stitch Up Chicago, the thing I was just mentioning. I also did a knit one, though, because we wanted to have something for both the crocheters and knitters. I was just talking about how slow a knitter I am. This is the right size project for me if you want to see it within a month. This is right here, oops, with one of my hairs knit right into it. This is the Poppy Seed Twist headband. Now, very similar, with reasons, to the Blueberry Twist headband that we did in crochet. I wanted to give a very similar look, similar texture, so both knitters and crocheters can make this headband. So the knit version, the Poppy Seed Twist one, will be up right at the beginning of June. It's a small project, might seem strange for June, but June, it's hard to do a lot of wearables, or actually hard to wear them, I should say, unless you're inside like me. So it's a good transitional piece. Think of it that way. You know, if you're going into a chilly office or if you're doing some traveling, you just don't like your ears cold. And then, of course, fall will be here before we know it. And if you're a slow knitter as I am, it might take you that long to make it. So that one will be up, and I will be making a video tutorial for that one as well. It's just within my talent range for knitting. So I'm excited to share that next month. Now I get to show you some new, to me at least, new yarns. Now, one of the companies at H&H, which was a trade show I went to earlier this month, I don't remember what month it was Knitting Fever, and they're a distributor. So that what that means is they don't necessarily sell yarn and tools and things like that directly, but they sell them to the yarn stores. At this trade show, a lot of the business that happens is local yarn stores coming in and ordering for their shops from these yarn companies and distributors. So he was, Anthony, lovely guy, at Knitting Fever, was telling me about some of the products that they do distribute. And I've talked about this brand before here on Moogly, Likey, which I think is finally how I've got it pronounced right, Likey. They do a lot of crochet and knitting tools and some really, really lovely things. I'm actually working on a project with some of their crochet hooks right now. But here are a couple of the yarns. They distribute a whole bunch of them, but these were ones that I hadn't seen before that I thought were particularly pretty. And this one is called Louisa Harding Poof. And unfortunately, the label really wants to come off. It's one of these wraparound labels, and these things always like to pop off. But Look at that. This is a luxurious brushed extra fine merino. Now, when they say extra fine, they don't mean it's fine in terms of weight because look at that. That is, there's a little fine line inside, but it's not going to work up like a fine. Now, this one does not have a yarn symbol on it. You'll find that a lot of times when you get yarn companies or yarn manufacturers from overseas, they don't use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the weights, which makes sense. That's part of the Craft Yarn Council initiative, which is, I don't know, I guess they're not really American based, but they're definitely North American based. We'll say that. This one, oop, there's a little bit of the label still in here. Does it have it? Nope, no more information on that. So this is the label for this one. But what made me really excited about this one, I don't know if you can see it, 100 grams, 295 yards. That's pretty good yardage for that amount of grams. And look at it. Look how big and fluffy and puffy this is. It's got these beautiful dots of color. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There it goes. Isn't that gorgeous? And it is light as a cloud. That's the thing I really wanted to emphasize. This is just such a lightweight yarn. It's absolutely crazy. They've got a couple of yarns that Knitting Fever distributes. Another one is Juniper Moon Farms Iris that I think might be even lighter. But I'm really excited about yarns like this because I've been getting requests, and for fall I've been wanting to do some longer sweaters, maybe longer length. And when you do that, unless you want to be working with a super fine yarn, in a lace weight or thread or something, it's so important to look for something that's really lightweight like this. And I'm excited to give this one a try. The other yarn I wanted to show you guys today is also a Louisa Harding, and this is the Tula Tweed. And let me hold this up and get a focus on that. Now, I want you to notice a couple things about this yarn. If we can get it, I think it's a little easier to see in this brown color, actually. You can see, if you look really closely, that's actually a chainette yarn. You can see how it looks like the yarn itself has already kind of been crocheted or knitted. That is a chainette yarn. Not only is this a chainette yarn, which in my experience leads to amazing drape and just a beautiful, well, drape, no other word for it, I guess, in your project, but look at these tweeds. Now, normally when I work with a tweed yarn, I spend half the time trying to stop myself from picking out all those little balls, all the little dots of color, right? It seems like they're always writing right on the surface of the yarn. Not with this one. With this one, those tweeds are, I don't know what to call them, the little puffs, the tweeds. They are right inside. You see how they're not sticking out? And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people, if I see, a regular tweed yarn, so to speak, and it's got the little bit sticking out, it's so hard for me. It feels like there's lint on my yarn, right? Like I've picked up fuzzies of other colors. This isn't going to give you that. Isn't that beautiful? You get that look without the bits sticking out, and it feels so nice and smooth. Now, I haven't stitched it up yet, but in the ball at least, that is some stunning stuff. So I'm excited to give it a try. This one is, and I see we have a question. I'll get right back to it here. This one is, yeah, Louisa Harding Tula Tweed. Again, it doesn't give a weight. I'm going to guess either a worsted or a bulky, but probably a worsted. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, 382 yards on this guy too for 100 grams. So also pretty lightweight, but not quite as puffy for sure. So a couple of really fun yarns. You'll be seeing some more stuff from them, I'm sure, in the future. They also do Noro, Lane du Nord, if you've heard of those brands before. They're pretty great. This one I've heard of, Rambouillet, I think is how you pronounce it. I haven't, that's the type of sheep. Juniper Moon Farm, gorgeous yarns as well. I know a little bit, people try and tell me about sheep and things, and I try and absorb it all. But yes, this is a type of sheep. So they have the yarn from the special sheep. I do know those sheep are special. And then, of course, Likey makes all kinds of beautiful, beautiful products. So I have a very pretty pink set that I'll be showing off from them here in a future project. So that's just a peek at a couple of new yarns that I discovered at H&H. I'll be showing you lots more here over the coming months. I've been able to restock my shelves behind me. You can see with some gorgeous new stuff that I'm very excited to show off as well. So now let's get to those questions. I know I've got a couple here. Let's see. Okay. Adrian says, I watched the video on lifelines for crochet and cutting out rows. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Adrian. Yes, it was a lot of fun to make that video. And I am so pleased to know that it is still helping so many people on YouTube. If you're wondering what she's talking about, on the Moogly YouTube channel, we have a video where I demonstrate, say, for example, let me find something here. Say, for example, this was a scarf, we'll say, and I realized the bottom I'd made too many stitches. It was way too wide, or I'd switched hook sizes, and now I've got a problem with those first few rows and I want to get rid of them. You can actually cut them off your crochet and save that new bottom row. So there's a whole video tutorial on that, and it really does, thankfully it exists to help a lot of people out, because we've all been in that position, right? What really inspired me was years ago, I made a side-to-side vest where you start on one side and then you crochet all the way to the other side. And of course, I was right at the other front side. I'd made it all the way across and realized I just had too many rows right at that very first side. So it was either frog the entire project or figure out how to cut it. And it was cutting time. So I'm very glad to be able to share that. Now, Meredith asks, should I block before weaving in ends? That is a really good question, and I think that both are viable. If you are not weaving in your ends because you want to sort of try it on again, if there's a chance that you'll take it all apart after you've blocked it, if you don't like it, then you could wait. I would probably, if the sweater or whatever the project is totally finished, you could go ahead and weave in your ends. Now, like I said, everything matters a little bit. Let's break it down. If you are blocking the pieces for the sweater, like for instance, the spring seller sweater, you can block the front and the back before you seam them together. You don't need to weave in your ends before you do that blocking. But I'm talking about, if you're blocking the finished piece, go ahead and weave in your ends first, because once it's blocked, you're going to want to go ahead and put it on. You're going to want to be done. But if you're blocking the individual pieces before you seam them together, then I probably wouldn't bother to weave in the ends unless I felt like they were going to be in the way. Otherwise, I might leave them, because sometimes I like to use those little ends to do a little extra sewing, take a little extra stitch, tighten up, if there's a little hole appears somewhere. I like to have those available as I'm finishing the sweater if I realize I need to, tighten up a seam or something like that. So when you're blocking the whole project, I would say weave their ends in first. If you're blocking just the pieces, I actually like to leave them loose in case I can put them to use later. So that was a good question. I had to really think about that for a minute. Let's see. Okay, thank you. All right. And let's see. Yes, and Julia, the headband is a perfect palette cleanser. Exactly. Yeah, sometimes we just want little projects. And also little projects like this are great for, and I'm going to have a couple more of those this summer as well. Great for things like fundraisers, craft fairs, school colors. You could definitely work these up in your school colors, your team colors, whatever, your city colors, whatever sells for you, whatever the people in your life will enjoy wearing. Let's see. Then I think the only thing left that I officially had to talk about today was we do have one more retreat that I want to advertise to you guys coming up this fall. Excuse me. Oh, I got my notifications on. Let me turn that off. I should have turned that off before. We have the Cozy Stitches Fall Retreat happening at Big Raven Farm in Minnesota, October 23rd through the 26th. This is going to be a really, really intimate, small event. We're talking, I think it maxes out at something like 12 to 14, like really small. And that's max. It's going to be very unique. It is on a working farm. So you need to be able to kind of get around a farm a little bit. But it is very idyllic and peaceful. We're going to be doing some art with our crochet and just relaxing and really spending a long weekend together. So very unique event. Of course, I'm going to be at a couple other things before then. I will be at CGOA this fall. I'll be in this summer rather, in July. I'll be in Pennsylvania in June. If you're still interested in going to the Pennsylvania thing, I think they have a few tickets left. But the big one I really want to share with you all now is the Cozy Stitches one this fall. So it's a good time to start planning your fall break at the end of October to really just take a break, relax before the craziness of the holidays. So I hope I'll see you there. And I think that is officially it for me. Thank you so much for saying that, Julia. She said she won't make the hats anymore without those templates. They have not failed her. That's so awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. I really appreciate that. And Julia has used them for knitting hats. I was gonna say I tried it once and it worked, so I can't see why it wouldn't work for all the rest of the knit hats, but it's good to hear that from somebody else that they tried it and it worked for them too. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and yeah, it's very, very overcast here as well. I could definitely use some sun. We haven't had much rain. Well, we've had some rain, but we've just had no sun at all. So hopefully the sun will keep come out for all of us and we'll have beautiful weather and be able to enjoy some more crochet projects and more fun together this summer. I will, like I said, I've got lots more yarn to show off and lots more things coming up that I'm excited about, and I'll be sharing them all with all of you as they come up. So thank you so much. Oh, I do want to point out one great tip here. Adrian said she weaves in her ends after she weaves steams after she weaves. She says, I do it after weaving because the steam help keeps the end secure. So she does her weaving, then her steaming. And that is a great point. Yes. Once it's steamed, everything's in place. Good chance to make sure all those ends are right where you want them and not popping out. So thank you for that. Great tip as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It's really appreciated visiting with all of you. Anna and Wayne, everybody who joined us a little bit later, Maggie, Shannon, everybody, Gerlinda. Gerland? Not sure how to say that one, but hello. So thank you so much. And yes, I will be back again live in approximately 2 weeks on Wednesday, right here where you see me right now. And if you're watching this later or as we're finishing this up, you want links to anything I've talked about today, that is all up on mooglyblog.com. Link should be in the description. First page of mooglyblog.com today. So thank you all again and have a great day. Talk to you soon.